Hey my friends, welcome to Joey's Pandas tutorial series. You will learn in this video how to combine and merge data frames in Pandas. I will show you how to merge, join and concatenate Pandas data frames in this video like a pro using just a few lines of code. So let's get started. I am here in my Jupyter lab with a new notebook in which I have already imported Pandas. And let's say your HR team has sent you two batches of employee data. You can see two dictionaries over here with the keys as employee ID, name, salary, and their corresponding values. We are converting them into Pandas data frames, which we are calling employee batch 1 and employee batch 2. Let's quickly print them. So I'm going to copy it, paste it over here, and use print to print these data frames. Let me paste it again and change 1 to 2 to print the second data frame. Now let me run this code block. And there you go. We have our two data frames. Now you are asked to combine these two data sets or data frames into a single data frame. To do that, we'll now look into a function called concat, which is used for stacking data sets vertically or horizontally. Let's see it in action. So we are going to create a new data frame. Let's say all employees. And after the equals to sign, we are going to write pd dot concat. Okay. Within its brackets, we are going to create a list in which we are going to put in two elements, which will be our data frames, emp underscore patch 1, comma, emp underscore patch 2. Okay. And as its second parameter, we are going to write ignore underscore index equals to true. It has to be capital T. All right. Now we are going to print all underscore employees, and that must give us one single data frame, which will be a concatenation of these two data frames. So let's run this, and there you go. We have now got a single data frame. That is a combination of these two data frames. And we used ignore underscore index equals to true to reset the index after stacking. Now let's concatenate the two data frames column wise. So we are going to create a new data frame. Let's call it all employees horizontal. So we are going to just use HOR for that equals to. We will copy this line of code because we have to make just one change in this line of code and paste it over here. So it will be pd.concat and there will be a list as its first parameter which will contain the two data frames. But instead of ignore index equals to true, we are going to write access equals to 1. And that is going to concatenate these two data frames horizontally. So let's print this particular data frame. So I'm going to copy and paste it over here, execute the code block, and there you go. The two data frames have been combined horizontally. So the parameter responsible for concatenating these two data frames horizontally was this one, access, whose value we set as 1. We'll now look into a very powerful function, merge. Merge is powerful for combining datasets based on common columns. Think of it like SQL joins. So let's learn merge. Merge to join two new data frames, which we are going to call employees and departments. Let's print these data frames first. So it will be print employees and it will be department within, actually it's departments within print. Let's execute this code block and there you go. There we have our two data frames. We have employee ID, name and department ID in employees data frame, whereas we have just a department ID and department name in the department's data frame. We'll thus create a new data frame, employee department merge. And after the equals to sign, we are going to write pd.merge and within its brackets, we'll write employees, departments, and a third parameter, which will be on, whose value we'll assign the column on which we want to join these two data frames. So that will be department ID. Okay. So I'm going to write here department ID. All right. Now let's print this particular data frame, employee department merge. Let's do that. And there you go. You can see in the resulting data frame only records with matching values of department ID appear, which are 1 and 2. So we just performed an inner join of SQL using the merge function. Now let's replicate left join using the merge function. So we are going to create a new data frame. Let me call it employee department left. And after the equals to sign, since we are going to use the same data frames, so let me copy this code and paste it over here. And everything will stay the same, but we are going to add a third parameter, which will be how. And what we are going to assign to it? Left. Okay. So this will replicate the left join of SQL. Let me print this data frame. To do that, I'll have to execute this code block. And there you go. You can see this is the result of employees left join department, where all the department IDs from employees data frame are appearing. And the one that is not there in the department table has its department name populated as NA. Okay. So similarly, we can implement full outer join using the merge function. Let's do that. We'll create another data frame, which we are going to call employee department outer. And after the equals to sign, we are going to copy and paste this code because the same code will be used. But instead of left, we are going to just write outer. All right. And let's print this data frame by executing this code block. So a full outer join keeps all records from both data frames and fills missing values with NaN. You can see that all unique department IDs are retained, even if they don't have matches in both the data frames, employees, and departments. Alright, so we have covered the merge function, which is an important one, and I hope you practiced it with me. While combining the datasets, sometimes we want to track which data frame each row came from, to implement which we can use keys in the concat function for hierarchical indexing. So let's create a new data frame which we are going to call grouped underscore EMPs. And after the equals to sign, we are going to write pd.concat. We are again making use of the concat function. So the first parameter will be a list which will be containing our old data frames, which were employee batch 1 and employee batch 2. Okay. So let's do that. Let me write employee batch 1, comma, employee batch 2. Now I want to know which of these batches each of the row comes from after combining them. To do that, we are going to use a parameter called keys. And to this parameter, we are going to assign a list, okay, in which the values will be batch 1 and batch 2. Now let's print this data frame by executing this code block. And there you go. The two data frames have been concatenated vertically. But you now know which row belongs to which batch. So batch 1 represents the first data frame, batch 2 represents the second data frame. So this is basically a multi-indexed data frame where we can identify the source of each row. Alright, let's look into the join function for index-based merging. Join is the fastest way to combine data frames using their index. Let's say we have two data frames, employee info and bonus info. In both of them, we are using employee ID as index. Let's say we align employees and their bonuses using employee ID as index. So let me first print these two data frames for you. Let me do that quickly. Let's execute this code block. And there we have our two data frames. We have the employee ID as index. Now we are going to create a new data frame. Let's create a new data frame, which we are going to call emp underscore bonus underscore joint equals to, we'll write emp underscore info, which is our employee data frame, dot join within whose brackets we'll pass bonus underscore info. Okay. That's how we join two data frames using the join function, and we are going to print this data frame by executing the code block. And there you go. We joined the two data frames using their indexes. The join function is great for time series or hierarchical data. And with this, we have come to the end of this video. In this video, we learned the concat function for stacking data frames, the merge function for SQL-like joins, including left and outer joins, the join function for merging two data frames on index, and concatenation with keys for tracking groups. I hope you enjoyed learning how to merge data frames using various functions in Pandas from this video of Joey's Tech. Do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so that you don't miss out on such tutorial videos. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye and take very good care of yourself.